What's going on YouTube? West Hobbies RC. So today we are back with the second part of the MicroHeli 230S build, and we are going to do the head today. So we have the triple bladed head. This will be if you're just building just the head itself. Maybe if you bought the whole performance package like I am building now, it's going to be the same idea. So if you just bought the head and you're using a stock 230 and just putting a 3-bladed head on, this is the same thing. So we're going to start with the head. If you notice, we have everything laid out here. We have our blade grips, our head block, our swash plate, our feathering shafts, our linkages, and then we have a little bell crank linkage, we have our dampeners, and we have our spacers. So pretty much like the M2 head, we are going to go ahead and pull the center Jesus bolt out. Now you'll notice it's long, and that's for a reason. At first I thought it was way too long, and I was like, well, I don't know why it's so long, but I have a bunch of nuts and bolts and M2 metric, so I was going to get a smaller one, and then I started realizing that it slides through this arm first, this mixer arm, and then it goes through the head. So we're just going to keep that through the mixer arm for now. So now on the head, you will notice that inside, just like the M2, is a screw, which is probably a Phillips. So let's go ahead and pull the top button off. It is a Phillips. So yep, just like the M2, there's a button, and then there's a screw in the middle. And then you have 3 screws here. So let's go ahead. None of these are Loctited, of course, because you need to pull this apart to assemble the head block. So it should be just like the M2 head, where you put the feathering shafts in one by one. We will, of course, go ahead and Loctite all these screws when we're done. Just gonna get them all out here, set them aside. And then we have to pull the little hex out in the middle, just like the M2. So let's go ahead and get this apart. Nice and machined together. Maybe we can push on the inside. There we go. And that little screw fell out, which you can't see with the center screw. So now we have our head button here, which I really like that the little hex is built into the button. The M2 is just pushed in. So we're going to set that there. So now we have our main head block here. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to grab ourselves a feathering shaft, and we are going to slide our feathering shaft in. Well, first we need to pull all the screws out. So let me go ahead and pull all these screws out, and then we'll be right back. Got all the screws pulled out, so now we are good to go. So first thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and slide our feathering shaft in like this. Our feathering shaft is going to lock down on this little pin lock right here. So let's push it into place, hold it into place. We are going to grab a head dampener, which they are hard dampeners, which I like. And we're just going to go ahead while holding the main shaft, or the feathering shaft, and we are going to push the dampener in. Okay, and then we want to pull the feathering shaft until it rests down inside like that. And it looks like the dampener's all the way down, and then we grab our next feathering shaft. We do the same thing. We push it into place, it locks down flat. Grab your dampener and slide the dampener into place while holding this down. There we go. Oh, slid out. But you're just going to want to work the dampener down into place, just like that. Make sure it's all the way in. Pull your feathering shaft, make sure it's all the way out. And then now there's 2 feathering shafts. And then the same with disassembly, you want to pop the dampener out first and then get each shaft out, because if you don't do that, you will never get the feathering shaft out. Grab the last dampener. Now these dampeners don't look like there's a way that they go. I don't think it matters which way they go, because they look like the same all the way through. So again, hold the feathering shaft into place, slide the dampener on, and very easily and carefully slide. There you go. So now we have all 3 feathering shafts put into place, give or take a little. And then now we have all 3 feathering shafts in place. We can go ahead and take our head button or top of the block, and we can slide it into place. Now that is going to stop the feathering shafts from walking around. So let's go ahead and grab our Phillips screws here. These will need Loctite. Let's go ahead, let's put a drop of Loctite. Again, we don't need much, just to get the screw a little wet. You don't need a lot of Loctite. All you're trying to do is secure the screw into place. So go ahead and run your screw down and just snug it for now. Grab the next one, same thing. Just a tiny bit of Loctite. Have to get the screw wet. And carefully and gently run it down. And then again, easily snug it. Once we get all 3 screws in, we'll come back and tighten all 3 of them. And then we can go ahead and put the button on, which is very simple as well. Dab Loctite. And man, this machinery on this kit is so nice. I am super thrilled with the build quality of the MicroHeli stuff. So now just go through, snug it. We got one more to do, and snug. So now our head block, our feathering shafts are completed. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our button that's going to go there, and of course we're going to do the same thing. We are going to slide this onto our driver, our screwdriver. We need a drop of Loctite. That's it. We are going to slide it up, get it straight, slide it up into the head, and put the button on. Now our head block is assembled. We have a completed head block. It is incredible quality. All aluminum, CNC'd, it's great. Machined, and they make this kit in multiple colors. I chose the black kit. You can make, they have it in green, red, gold. So now we're gonna take our shims, and if you look at the shim, you'll notice that there is a raised side and a flat side. Flat side towards the head, towards the dampener. We're gonna take our blade grip. I can't even think of what it's called. And we're going to put our blade grip on. Now remember, the blade grip has a cutout at the bottom for your nut. That goes down. Slide that into place, just like that. Take your 1.5 driver. Again, Loctite. Now remember, you don't want to go nuts on this because you don't want it to get into the bearings. We just want to dab a Loctite. Over Loctiting is not good either. If it runs into the bearings, that's how you get a gritty bearing. Okay, snug it down. Nice and tight and free. That's the most important part, is that it's free. You don't want it to be grinding and gritting, and you don't want it to be solid locked up. That's not good. So let's get our next bolt ready. Got a dab of Loctite on there. Let's grab our next shim. Again, flat side, which is this side towards the head block, raised side towards the bearing. Slide it on, grab our bearing or blade grip, make sure that the nut side is down, and tighten it up. Snug it down, tighten. To get there, carefully tighten. Make sure it is free. Okay, so now we are free. Let's grab our last screw. There's really nothing to this head setup. It goes together perfectly. MicroHeli did an incredible job with the design of this. Just like the 3-bladed M2 head, goes together great. Grab your last shim, slide it, grab your blade grip, slide it together. Your nut in place, tighten it all down. There's no thrust bearings on these heads. There's no need for them. Okay. Now check and make sure everything is free, which it is. So now, at this point in time, we have an assembled 3-bladed head. So our blade grips are assembled, everything is done, everything's Loctited and tightened. So now what's left is I did go ahead and check. These are Loctited from the factory. Check yours, and I went ahead and checked mine, and these ball links are Loctited from the factory. But everything is ready. Now, if you look at the swash plate, it looks funny because you have 4 ball links. Now, you'll say, oh, well, the 2 is for a 2-bladed head, which probably does work that way. But for this, you have your 3 for your grips, and then this side, which is directly across the other straight side, that is for this pitch link little bell crank little thing. So this is going to go just like this. Now, of course, we need to put the main shaft in, but this will go here, and then your links will pop on the blade grips like this. Got 1, you have 2, and you have 3. And they are directional. So there you go. Now you have all 3 links on. And then you will pop that directly on to your swash plate in that same order. 1, 2, 3, and then this one will go here. It goes like that, I believe, or like this. I'm going to assume that we got this backwards. So let's flip this around. Yeah, I'm going to assume that this is backwards. This is my first time building this as well. So, we are learning together. Going off of what I assume here. And then you would go ahead, you would throw it onto your main shaft. You would put your head in place. Yeah, that goes like, yeah, that's better. So there you go. So now your linkage goes this way, cut into the middle. Your links here are gonna go down like so. And then that will all connect directly to your swash plate. But I am not going to install this on the helicopter yet for 2 reasons. 1, I am doing the King Cobra canopy, so there will be no way to get the head on with the canopy. So I'll have to do the canopy first and then install the head. And 2, I'm not at that stage of my build yet. So for now, my head is done and ready to be installed. So there you guys go. How to assemble the MicroHeli 3-bladed head for the Blade 230S. Incredible piece of machinery here. They did, it's a work of art. They did great on their CNC work. Everything is beautiful. Color is great. It's all anodized. Everything fit together like it should. So I'm very happy. Swash plate, incredible too. All aluminum. Cut beautifully. Bearings are all smooth. So there you guys go. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped you. Thank you. Have a great day.